Good morning. We're listening in to some pretty personal challenges from the Apostle Paul to the family. He's saying if you're single, it's going to be better for you to stay single. If you're married, then absolutely stay married. But when you're married, there's a division of your interests. You're interested in the well-being of your spouse. You're interested in the home. When you're single, your interest can be single-mindedly focused on the interests of Christ. Both are good. Single and married have advantages. And now the Apostle Paul is becoming a little bit more focused when he says, "This I say for your own benefit, not to put a restraint upon you, but to promote what is appropriate and to secure undistracted devotion to the Lord. But if any man thinks he is acting unbecomingly toward his virgin daughter, if she's past her youth, and if it must be so, let him do what he wishes. He does not sin. Let her marry." And he's saying, I don't want you to take what I just said and apply it with a broad brush to everyone. Oh, my hand just disappeared. Apply it with a broad brush to everyone because it doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. Somewhere else he said, to some it's been given the gift of singleness, not to everyone. So he's saying, if you have a daughter, a virgin daughter, and she really wants to get married, and you think you're not doing her any favors by forcing her to stay single, if you're acting unbecomingly toward her, then if she should get married, then let her get married. You're not sinning with that. It's a pretty straightforward concept that marriage is a gift. In fact, it's a microcosm of the relationship that Christ has with his church, that the Lord has demonstrated this kind of love. The church is his bride, and husbands ought to love their own wives as Christ loved the church. The wife is to respect and honor her husband as the church honors Christ. It's a genius, divine design, and we should not be taking the directions that were given to the church in Corinth and saying this applies to everyone everywhere, because it doesn't. And that's what Paul's saying here. Look, if you have a virgin daughter and she's ready to get married, she wants to get married, everything is in line, then that's okay. If it must be so, then it's not a problem. So as we walk with Christ, let's be careful that we don't try to force everyone into the same position or the same relationship that I think is right, or that you think is right, or that the Apostle Paul said, it's going to be better if you're single that you stay single. But you don't have to. You just need to know there's going to be distress. You just need to know there are different dynamics when you get married, and that's okay. Our rule of thumb is what brings glory to Christ, what is expressing the kind of love that God has, what is expressing his love toward those around me. That's what I should do. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love others as you love your own self. And on these two commandments hang all the Old Testament law and prophets. On these two commandments, we see the life of Christ hinging at every turn. So that's the goal for us. In the U.S., this deal of immigration has a lot of people divided from one another, up in arms, they're arguing with each other. And we need to be careful that we separate the role of government from the role of the individuals. So just keep that in mind and be careful that you don't allow these circumstances to drive wedges between you and your loved ones, to divide your family or to divide your church. God loves you, and we love you too.